Hello folks, I had to pull down my microphone there just in time or you wouldn't have heard my voice very well. Here we go, some hobby nightmares to round out your week. I hope you're all having a good one and it's stress free and you have better weather than I have here. It was lovely and sunny yesterday, but the old British summer is back. We have rain, we have wind, and it is quite cold for June. I know, annoying, but there we go. If you like what I do, the subscribe button is down below. The Patreon is also down below. We will, of course, be doing another prize giveaway this Sunday. If you want to join me, then head on over to the new channel, which is Northern Exile Gaming down below. We will be doing some live streams on Saturday, where you can come and hang out with me over there. And I think the prize draw, on second thought, we'll probably do it on this channel, the prize draw. But apart from that, the main streaming channel is Northern Exile Gaming. It is linked down below. A few of you have said you aren't able to find it. That's because it's a very small channel right now, and so it doesn't really show up on search results. But if you go in the description down below and you follow that link, you will see the new gaming channel. As I said the other day, nothing's changing over here. Everything's staying the same. 5 to 6 videos a week. Most of them are going to be hobby nightmares. And if you have your own hobby nightmares to send in, then please make sure you do so to my email address down below. That is hobbynightmares@gmail.com. Okay, ready to go? Let's jump in with George, who says, "G'day North, hope you're doing well. My name's George and I wanted to share an experience that reflects the impact of your advice about gatekeeping in hobbies. It's not quite a nightmare, but it definitely changed my approach to gaming. I've been a Warhammer 40k enthusiast for a while now, but recent additions have slowly drained the joy out of it for me. The complexity of stratagems and the competitive meta lists in 10th edition finally pushed me over the edge. Disillusioned, I left and began exploring other games and gaming groups. After some soul searching, I switched to Age of Sigmar. My first real dive into it was at a local tournament where I played with an ogre's list. I was a bit hesitant at first, but it turned out to be an absolute blast. The event was a mix of house rules, friendly rivalries between armies, and an endless supply of donuts. It felt like that Simpsons scene where Homer is hooked up to the donut machine in hell. It was a fantastic day, and I even earned 2 exalted titles. The first being Best Player, winning me a drinking horn, and the second being the wooden spoon for coming in last, which was hilarious and expected. I realised I had found my crowd, a group that didn't take the game too seriously and steered clear of the issues plaguing the broader gaming community. But the story doesn't end there. Take a sip from your favourite beverage for the next part. I will do, thank you. Love it when you tell me to have a little drink. I would be drinking a cold drink today if it was, Caribbean weather and not British weather, but there we go. 2 weeks later, a friend invited me to play a game of 40k. I was ready to decline, frustrated by the current edition, until he mentioned that they were playing 4th edition combat patrols. Intrigued, I agreed to join. The game we played reignited my passion for 40k, and I am happily involved in 2 fantastic gaming communities that truly embrace and protect the joy of their hobbies. Yeah, I think what you've done there is, you've taken my advice, number one, and found your own people and gone and just done that, you know what I mean? But at the same time, I've got to say, the older editions of 40k are really getting some airtime right now. People are going back to them and saying, look, these were really good games as they were. They had their foibles, yes, but all in all, they were well-balanced games and you could get a good game in with them. Modern day 40k is for video gamers. I'm sorry, it is. It's for video gamers. It's built for the Twitch generation. It's Twitch generation 40k is 10th edition. I really enjoyed 8th. 8th was one I had the most fun with. I know a lot of people didn't like it, but it was the one that I felt that they found a sweet spot there. They ruined it with their codex releases, of course, because Games Workshop can never leave something alone if it's good. So they ruined it, but by and large, I did enjoy 8th edition, and I thought if we're going to stay around this, I'm going to be quite happy. Do you know what I mean? Because it was simple to learn but difficult to master, and that's what you want from your game. 9th and 10th, though, disasters. Just disasters. Just bloated, stratagem-fueled, gotcha-fueled messes that have driven more people away from the hobby than I think most other editions have done. You know? Not even 8th drove enough people away from the hobby to, you know, constitute a crisis like we're having now. The amount of people who write into me, the amount of people that I know have left 40k, after 20, 30 years in 40k, they've gone, nah, I'm good. I'm good. Right? If I want this kind of community, I'll go play a game on Twitch. You know, or get involved in esports. I have no interest in that, so I'm not going to do it. You know. The lesson that I've learned and want to share is this. You don't have to stick to the latest rules or trends, and it's okay to revisit older editions and find what makes you happy. I've attached some picture of our Armageddon game for your enjoyment. Thanks for your time, and if any Aussies are listening, get ready. Queensland is going to dominate the state of origin. Cheers, George. I don't know what that means. Being you know, from the homeland. Yeah, you're right. You can go back. I'm not gonna. I will put those on a Sunday, like everybody else. So if you put your name on those photographs, they will be on Sunday. Alrighty. Lamb says, "Dear Mr. North, I hope you're well and life's treating you as such. I recently watched one of your latest videos, depending on when you read this, saying that Grandad North was in hospital. May the Emperor protect, and I hope he gets better soon." Thank you, man. Yeah, he's there right now. I'm going to go see him later on. He seems to be doing okay. Like, at the end of the day, it's difficult because, you know, we're in end-of-life care, right? And being in end-of-life care means you've got to come into this with a bit of philosophy. You know, do you want them to do invasive procedures on a man who's steadily losing his mind and what made him him to keep him alive, or do you make him comfortable, right? And you make sure that he's happy in his final days. That's the point we're at now, and it's heartbreaking. It's not great, and it doesn't feel great at all. And there've been a few times this week where I felt like I didn't want to do a video or I didn't want to do a live stream, and I forced myself to do it, and boy, am I glad I've done that, because, you know, being on YouTube for me, this is why I champion it so much. Even though there are some bad things about being on YouTube, you know, sometimes you get demonetized videos for no reason. You know, there are lots of frustrating things, but at the end of the day, in terms for my mental health, it's a really good tool, because I come on here, I get to talk to you guys, and it makes me forget a little bit. Not that you reminded me, and you need to feel bad about that, Lamb. I'm just saying. Yeah, it is something that's going on, and I'll go see him later on and see where he is mentally. But yeah, it's not a great part of life, but it's part that we've all got to go through sooner or later, you know. And again, he's in his late 80s. He's 89 now. He's 90 this year. You know, he's had a really good innings, and there's part of me that thinks, you know, his body's so healthy because he was a bricklayer for upwards of 60 years, right? This is a guy who was a bricklayer, and he was really, really hench, you know, really fit all of his life. You know, this is a guy who was... It's kind of weird. It's kind of tragic to see, because my grandpa was Hercules when I was a kid. Like, this guy, like, every woman I've ever... who was, like, 40 or above, or 30 and above when I was a kid, looked at my grandpa like... You know how they looked at him. Do you know what I mean? Like, it was just like, having this guy around was like, okay, I want to be like that. When I grow up, I want to be strong. I want to look like that, you know? I'm seeing him now as an old man and like, you know, in his last days. And man, it's hard. It's hard. You know, it's not great. But thank you for your concern. Thank you for your concern. Let's move on, shall we? For the purpose of this story, please call me Lamb, or Lambs, okay? I have a minor, not as dramatic, hobby nightmare, and a very wholesome end, which touches on the point you have made in previous videos, which prompted me to write to you. I will section the story for ease of reading, and try to keep things to the point. Lastly, before I begin, thanks for existing. Your videos have brought me hours of enjoyment, so again, thank you very much. Cheers, man. Righto, to the story. Chapter 1, the context. I will now attempt to try and summarise my 25 years of life and my hobby experience, which include my nightmare, all relevant for later in the story. I am 25 and live in the south of the United Kingdom. The hobby has always been a scapegoat to get away from general life admin, and I rekindled the hobby flame back in lockdown. I used to love it when I was in my early teens, but I grew out of it. Or so I told myself, the older I got. Now, at the ripe age of 25, don't refer to 25 as ripe, you cheeky bastard, you know what I mean? You're 10 years younger than me. I can't believe that. You're 10 years younger than me. Where did that time go? I look back, I started university at 24. And my God, was I a different person back then. Oh no. I have recently moved away from my hometown, bought a house with my beautiful partner, and have also got myself a new job that pays me very well, which I'm extremely grateful for. So all in all, happy days, right? Well, let's move on to chapter 2 for my hobby nightmare of sorts. One thing I'd like to say before I move on to chapter 2, guys, is my firm belief, and the belief of many people that I've spoken to in life, that men only tend to start to peak in terms of their mental health and they become self-actualized, right, in their early 40s. It's literally their early 40s. So if you're sitting there in your 20s and 30s wondering why you don't have it all together, you're not supposed to. I'm telling you now, early 40s is when men get their shit together. Mentally, physically, right? You start taking care of yourself because you've got to, or you'll die. Do you know what I mean? Like, you learn what you're good at and you start to monetize what you're good at. I'm on that journey now, right? I'm 35 and, you know, I'm starting that journey now in the next 5 or 6 years. I want YouTube to grow and grow and grow, and I want my business in terms of being a private teacher to grow and grow and grow. And I think by the time I get to my early 40s, I should be earning money enough that I'm doing well, you know? And, I mean, I'm doing okay now, but, like, I'm on that road. Some of us start that road earlier than others. It's true. I'm kind of middle of the road, I think. I think most men in the world, when they're in their mid-30s, that's when they start to figure shit out. This is the time, these are the best years of your life. The best years of your life when you're a man, for me, I'm telling you, they aren't when you're 18, they are not when you go to university. They're not. They're when you're in your mid-30s. I'm telling you, that you're in your mid-30s and you start to figure shit out. Yes, you may have more responsibilities. Yes, you may be working more. But you're starting to figure shit out. Alright? You're no longer this confused, overgrown teenager walking around. Right? You're not ruled by your penis anymore. You're walking around and you are generally becoming a more self-actualized person. You're becoming you. And that's something women don't really get. They peak very early. Right? In my opinion. They peak very early. Men don't. Men don't really have a wall. You know, we get to mid-30s, and that's when we start to enter our prime years. Right? That's when, I'm telling you now, also, that's when most of the women in the world will be attracted to you, is in your 30s. Or your mid-30s to mid-40s. Most of them. That's when you get the broadest range. You'll have 18-year-olds who are into you, and you'll have 50-year-olds who are into you. Right? It's the best time of your life. It really is. In terms of you working out your job, you're working out what you're good at, you're working out your skills, you're grown up enough to see where your blind spots are and your weaknesses, and to start working on those. You're reading more, you're really engaging with the universe when you get into your mid-30s. A lot of people will tell you that it's the worst time in life because you've got jobs and this and that and the other. It's bollocks. It's not true. It's not true. Right? That 10-year period from 35 to 45 for me, you know, when I've seen dudes do this. I've seen guys do this. I'm sorry I'm going on a tangent right now, but I need to say this because this is involved in what the young man said here, right? In that he you know, doesn't feel like he's got it all together, that kind of thing. Well, I've always had older male friends, always had older male friends, and I've seen lots of men when I was in my early 20s. I was mates with guys who were like 33, 34, because I just felt more attuned to those dudes, right? They were into the same things that I was into. I kind of outgrew my own age group, you know? And I saw all of those men go into that period of being in their late 20s, early 30s, and being kind of broke. Couch surfing, you know? Not having their life together, making all these stupid decisions that got them into trouble, or cost them money, cost them hair. Do you know what I mean? But then I saw each and every single one of them hit their mid-30s and get their shit together and become some of the happiest dudes I've ever seen. And these aren't dudes who have any sort of amazing talent. One of them was an artist and started selling drawings and art pieces privately. Just started selling them, started earning money, built that business up. Now he's in his mid-40s and he's very well off. He's doing quite well, right? One of them's a computer engineer, computer programmer. And this guy went from job to shitty job for years, right? He travelled to Manchester every day in the car because he had no other choice. Then eventually, when he got into his mid-30s, he started to make that decision of, oh, hang on a minute. You know what I mean? I need to start getting my shit together here. And by his mid-40s, he's in a really good job. Really good job. No, not even mid-40s. He's in his late 40s. In his late 40s, he got his latest job that he's in now, where he's the head of his own department, working from home, and earning upwards of 70 grand a year. Right? So this is what I mean. Men peak later. They do. And that 10, 15-year period when you're between your early 30s and late 40s, that's the shit. That's when you want to start getting yourself down and starting to earn your money and reach your potential. That's when you take all of the rubbish that you've had in the first 20, 30 years of your life and you use that as fuel to bring about the future that you want. So don't think your life's over at 25. The amount of people who write to me, like this guy here, saying, oh, I'm 25 and, you know, ripe old age and things aren't going right and my job isn't right and my life isn't right. It's not supposed to be. It's not supposed to be, right? 35, aim for 35. If you're at 35 and you've started the journey towards you getting what you want in terms of being happy and making a living and getting good mental health, you're in the sweet spot, my friend. That's where you are. Even if you're after that. Again, that computer programmer dude didn't get his shit together till he was in his early 40s. And by his mid to late 40s, he's earning 70 grand a year. Right? And he's an average computer programmer. He'll tell you himself. He's not this savant. He's a normal computer programmer. Self-taught, right? You know? It can happen. Anyway, I'll shut up now and move on, because I know people hate my tangents sometimes, but I thought that needed to be said, alright? Okay. So, Chapter 2, The Nightmare. I'm hesitant to call my hobby experience a nightmare due to the many hours of fun I had building and painting, but there was always one thing that I wish I had, something I yearned for. Hobby bros. Hobby bros to chat with, game with, and generally nerd out with. All my friends growing up from my hometown and uni, mainly gym bros and people I played sports with. I never knew what Warhammer was or were not interested when I mentioned it. This subsequently meant that they never knew I did this hobby. I was a convert nerd, or a covert nerd. Not to mention that there were no local gaming stores in my hometown or even Warhammer shops. I do not embody or ooze nerd, which is why I hide it so well. Just to visualise me, I work in the fitness industry and I'm relatively well built. And handsome, I do say so myself, in the least arrogant way possible. This is his guy. Just flexing in the mirror. Yeah, you know. Just kissing his biceps. Just average, normal looking, stunningly handsome guy, you know? Just, you know. Okay, now. I recently went to a friendly local game store, but it's quite a drive away from my new house, and I can't make the time, especially working long hours. I'm gonna say, when you said you were handsome there, dude, I'm calling it, like 80 to 90% of the dudes listening to this lost all sympathy for you. They're sitting in their cubicles at work going, fucking asshole. I'm joking. This is a shame, as the guys who I've spoken to from the store are incredibly welcoming and lovely. So to summarise, for the last 4 years or so, as much as the hobby has been a massive part of my life, it has also been under an umbrella of broliness, yeah, which is my term for hobby bro loneliness. This is all rather dramatic, especially as I have a huge friend and personal network. but not having anyone to share this passion with was making the hobby really boring and kind of losing me a bit. I get that. And that's even worse, because if you're just a dude who's not good at getting friends because you're quite awkward, then that's fixable. That's an easy fix, right? That's not easy, but you know what I mean? You can see what you need to do to fix it. Get better socially, get more friends. Job done, right? Whereas a guy like this has loads of friends, just not in the thing that he wants. That's a much harder fix. I've been in this situation, right? Having lots of friends, especially working in bars and being into Warhammer, because you'd work with trendy dudes, with like, you know, good-looking women. None of those people are going to want to talk about Warhammer with you, you know? Anyway, Chapter 3, An Unexpected Turn of Events. So, my new job role is management in a gym/health club. I've been working there for around 3 months. I am one of the 2 managers. Let's call the other manager Barry. And under us, we have 2 fitness staff. We will call them Owen and Stuart. All fake names, of course. We are, for stereotypical purposes for the story, so people can visualise, gym bros. We eat, sleep and love the gym. The gym is not our whole personalities, but we are passionate about health and fitness and what it can do to change people's lives, physically and mentally. One day rocking up to work, I was feeling sorry for myself. I hadn't done any hobby stuff for around 4 weeks due to being so busy. I walked in and said hi to Owen at reception, and as I walked past him, I thought I saw him looking at Warhammer on his phone. I mentally paused, shook my head and thought to myself, I am hallucinating Warhammer. Great. I went to the back office and put my stuff away. I was then heading back to Owen, who was talking to Barry, when I saw them looking at Owen's phone. As I got closer, I thought, Is that a Tau Commander? No, I'm seeing things again. No, I swear that's a fucking Tau Commander. I approached them and said, Is that Warhammer you're both looking at? They both looked at me in horror as I uncovered their darkest secret. They said sheepishly, yeah? I put my head in my hands and muffled, oh my god. They looked at me expecting me to tear them a new one, and I said, I fucking love Warhammer! Now North, I don't know if you've seen 3 gym bros jumping around wheezing with excitement on a gym floor over plastic toys. That sounded wrong, but there we are. Laughing in utter disbelief. Turns out, Barry had caught Owen looking at it earlier in the day. They had had their moment of excitement and vowed not to tell anyone else, until I came around the corner and we all exploded with laughter after the realization we were all hiding our love for the hobby from each other. We have since managed to rope in a member of our gym, who we will call Jack, who is built like an absolute brick shithouse, into playing with us as well. Turns out he's turned into a massive fan too. Dude, men are men. Boys are boys. It doesn't matter what they look like, right? Fucking look at Cavill. Look at Cavill, right? Boys are boys. We love Space Marines, we love Tau, we love Eldar, everything about it. Put it in our veins. We love Warhammer. We're boys. Okay? It doesn't matter. If ever you think you're going to get judged for being into Warhammer, you're not going to be. And if any man does judge you, that's not a dude. Alright? That's somebody who's had all of the fun and whimsy and joy in their life smashed out of them, probably by a woman. Right? If any dude judges you for being into 40k, just tell them to fuck off. Tell them to go swivel. Yeah, I have fun with my friends. Yeah? Yeah, what do you do? I go out drinking. Oh, do you? Yeah? Cool. Well, I don't get hopped up on drugs or alcohol to have fun. I go and play Warhammer. You know? And every now and again, I'll go out for a pint with my friends, and we'll talk about the battles and things that we had. But I don't need to go out and, you know, chase women that aren't interested in me to get fucking joy out of life, you know? Again, I've said it many times, the best way to go out and pull women, my friends, is to have something better to do with your life and your time than to go out and pull women. Just is what it is, right? If you've got a healthy life and you're enjoying your life, that's attractive in and of itself. It really is. You know, you may not be one of these guys who's going to judge you for being into Warhammer in the club. You may not be one of those guys. But I'm telling you now, you're still one of the most attractive men that a woman can come across in terms of mental fortitude and actually wanting to do what you want to do. That's attractive in and of itself. Not giving a shit and beating to the march of your own drum. It's attractive. It's a good trait to have. It's a very good trait for a young man to have. So work on it. Since then, we have created a group chat to share pictures of our painted models and are arranging a game soon. North, the stars aligned and it was perfect. I don't believe in fate, but 3 gym bros who all love the hobby, ending up in the same job, that's wholesome as hell to me. Now for Stuart, our other fitness staff, he has no idea what it is, but enjoys that we like it. That's a good bro. Yeah, I don't know what that is, but fair enough. I'm going to go lift some weights. That's great. Yeah, good man. Chapter 4, Wise Words from North. So it was actually your wise words which prompted me to write this in, to curate your own hobby space. Now I feel that, more than ever, our small 4-man gym bro nerd group is just hilarious. When Jack comes in the gym, the member we roped in, he greets us with, "Hello, fellow brothers," which is funny as all hell, as no one other than us gets the reference. That's really funny. Now there's my not-so-hobby nightmare. Thank you for reading, and thank you, North, for the content. I've attached a picture of my painted minis for you to share, depending on what day it is on. No worries if it doesn't get shared. If not, here is my Instagram link and name to the hobby Instagram account. Even if you do not share it, I would love for you to take a look. I will share it on Sunday. So, yeah, if your name is on your pictures that you send me, I will share them and your Instagram on Sunday, if it's all there. Alright? It might not be this Sunday, because I've got loads to get through, but it will be a Sunday. Alright. Moving on. Strife says, "Hey North, I just wanted to relay something that happened to me in my local gaming space. I will get straight to the point, as I don't have a lot of time, in that I am a video gamer rather than a tabletop gamer, but I hope this still gets some airtime if you get the chance." Well, gaming is gaming, yeah, alright, fair enough. Anyway, I am involved in a group of gamers who like to get together at my university to talk shop. It's a big society. It is a group that is dominated by dudes, as you may think, but has 1 or 2 women in it, and this will come up in a little bit. We had a presentation at the end of term a few weeks ago where our club president, Jason, was up at the podium talking about how women should have more of a role in our gaming group and how they should step up and start recommending games to play at tournaments and things. Alright, I'm just going to stop you there. How awkward for those women. Can you imagine being one of like 2 women in a group full of like 30 dudes and you're called out like that? How fucking awkward. You just want to play video games. If they wanted responsibility, they'd probably be up there now talking about it. Right? Leave people alone. Jesus. This guy sounds like a massive dickhead white knight. He really does. He said we needed to be more inclusive. All this kind of stuff. Now, I have an issue here, as I am a raging lefty myself, with a massive hard-on for inclusivity. I shit you not. I want everybody who wants to be involved in a hobby to be let in, and don't really want to do any kind of gatekeeping. Well, be prepared to lose your hobby then, my friend. Be prepared to lose your hobby, or be kicked out of it. One of the two. One of the two. If you're not willing to protect your hobby away from bad actors, then you're not safeguarding it for anybody. You know, being a good hobbyist is about making sure that your hobby is protected from bad actors, from people who don't want you to be doing that hobby. Warhammer is one of those. You need to protect it. And for those of you who want to get involved, then get involved if you like Warhammer. You're more than welcome here. We don't care about your sex, age, gender, whatever, creed, culture. Doesn't matter to us. If you like Warhammer, you're welcome, right? And in that group, if you like gaming, you should be welcome. I agree. We agree on that much. But there are people in the gaming sphere and people in tabletop gaming spheres that, you know, don't have the best of intentions. Alright? Like your club president, Jason, here, is trying to score points with the women in the group. Quite obviously as well. It's cringe. It's cringe and kind of creepy behaviour, right? Jason is the kind of guy in this story that I would keep my daughter far away from. Far away. Okay? If any man starts coming in and talking about women's rights like it's like the most important thing in the world, keep that guy away from your daughter. Alright? Because no man thinks like that. No man has time to think like that. Right? We're too busy working and doing shit to think like that. Okay? Just keep them away. The amount of guys I've come across who say shit like this, and they end up doing something wildly creepy, like following a girl home, or touching them inappropriately as they're dancing on a dance floor or something, you know, or even getting violent. It's beyond a joke how many guys who basically, you know, back in the day, in the medieval age, people who talked loyalty would be distrusted, right? If you talked a lot about how loyal you were, you would be distrusted. That is not a knight you want to follow into battle, right? If a man talks about women's rights and talks about how they deserve this and deserve that and need this and need that, do not trust that man if you're a woman. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. Right? Do not do it. There may be 1 in 10, maybe, who is absolutely on your side and, you know, an ally and all that sort of stuff. But I'm telling you now, most of them who are doing that are not doing it for the right reasons. You know? We needed to be more inclusive and all that kind of stuff. Fair enough. Alright. Yeah, if you're not going to gatekeep Strife, if you're not going to gatekeep, say goodbye to your hobby. You know, you got to gatekeep healthily. It's like, I look at gatekeeping like keeping your body healthy. If you're not going to take care of your body, you're going to die sooner. If you eat shit and do drugs, right, and, you know, perform bad health hygiene, you're going to die sooner. It just is what it is. And you're going to look terrible doing it. But if you exercise and eat right and have your massive pleasures like going out drinking in moderation, right, you'll live longer and look better. That's gatekeeping. You're gatekeeping what's going into your body the same way you should gatekeep what goes into your hobby. There we go. Okay, my logic sensors in my autistic brain, however, would not let me be silent. I put up my hand, and when things went quiet and I was allowed to speak, I said, and I quote, yeah, dude, but there are 2 women here in a room of what? 60 people? Girls, do you actually want any attention drawn to you, or do you want any sort of responsibility in the group? Nah, dude, one of the girls, Ali said. We just want to play Pokemon Go, lol. Good girl. Good girl. Jason got very flustered and started telling me and the people in the room, including the girls, how most of the gaming community was not like our group, and that 50% of gamers out there are women, and what's more, most of the people in the room started nodding along and agreeing with him, although not the 2 girls, I noticed, and started giving me weird looks. Dude, this guy's literally telling women what they should be upset about. It's hilarious. Do you see what I mean? Do you see how male feminists do this? Okay? That they hate you more than us. As a dude, I will tell you, as a woman, you're fucking annoying. Like, you annoy me. Okay? There are certain times in the day I don't want to hear from you. You annoy me. But I'm honest about it. I'm upfront about it. I'll tell you. That's annoying. Stop doing that. I love you, but I stop doing that. It's fucking annoying. Right? A guy like this, Jason, will pretend to be on your side and then start telling you what you should be upset about. Because he'll take charge. Do you know what I mean? He'll take charge. He'll go, no, he's the most chauvinistic. It's the most chauvinistic thing you can do. Is be a male feminist and tell women what to be upset about. Go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself. Honest to God. They're annoying. Just tell them. Just tell them. Sometimes. Yeah, sometimes. But all people are annoying, but, women especially. Anyway, he then ended his speech with, if you don't like that, Strife, you can find another club to be at. So he's a bully as well. This Jason, he's a bully as well. I sat there in silence, going red in the face, and of course, the girls did not stand up for me. I just shook my head and got up and left. Here's the thing though. Now, I have nobody else to play with but friends who are not in that gaming group. They are good friends and we have a good time, but I will miss the tournament scene at university. What do I do here? Apologise? Help a brother out. Strife. No, don't apologise. Leave and stay gone. Mate, you had a lucky escape. You had a lucky escape. Leave and stay gone. Because if that's the prevailing attitude of the people in your gaming club, you're better off somewhere else having fun with your friends. Follow my advice there. Just be with your friends and have fun with your friends. That's all you need to do. Alright, you don't need to be in tournaments. You don't need to be... I know it's like, I need that adrenaline of the competition. Invent one then. Get more friends and invite them to do that kind of thing with you. Okay, but don't go back to this group. It's a group of fucking numpties, it sounds to me. Okay, you had a lucky escape. And if that's what's going on in universities these days, my God, you probably shouldn't go. I'm not saying this to you because you're already there. But if you want to earn a good living, get a trade. I'm telling you now, guys, get a trade. That's going to be the thing in the next 10 to 15 years that you're going to make a lot of money with. If you can get a trade that you enjoy, you're going to be mega rich. Because everyone's going to university and getting these fucking useless degrees that they're never going to use, okay? And their washing machine's going to break down and they're going to go, oh, what's going to happen? I'm not a... right? And they'll call you. And you'll go, all right, Jason, yeah, I will come around, you little beta bitch, but it's going to cost you £300 an hour. All right. And that'll be you. That's what you should do. Go and get a trade. I'm telling you now, you'll be quids in. Absolutely. Depending on the trade, obviously, do your research. But yeah, you'll be quids in. Absolutely. You're going to be well in demand. Well in demand. And you are in it's a private sector, right? You're your own company. You're not beholden to unions or anything like that. You can charge what you want. Unlike teachers who are screwed. So we really need teachers, but they're really underpaid. Because of unions, because of the government, right? They're really underpaid. For what they do. So whilst there's a big need for them, not many people are choosing it as a career. Unlike a trade. If you choose a trade and you pick a good one, you can earn a lot of money. I would advise you do that and read about the things that you like in your spare time. If you like ancient history, a piece of paper from a university is not, I repeat, not, and I went to Durham, so I should be saying that this is a thing you should be doing, but don't. Go and get yourself a trade, buy a few fucking books, and read about ancient history. Expand your mind. You don't need a piece of paper to be an expert in something. Okay? Some of the best historians I know never went to university. They loved it at high school, went out, got a job, researched it in their spare time. You know? I'm telling you now, there are ways to go about life that aren't the path down the middle. Anyway, I love you a long time. That was Feels Friday, of course. And I'll speak to you tomorrow for our first live stream over on the Northern Exile gaming channel. The link is in the description down below. Alright, and then I'll speak to you probably on Sunday for a prize draw and a little chin wag on this channel. Alright? I love you a long time. I will speak to you then. Have a good one. I'll see you then. Bye now.